What's up, everybody? We got some Saturday morning news update. I wanted to go live with this just because I feel like it was important. It was important enough to kind of break the news, react to the breaking news rather, and that is Harrison Butker is back. So it's not a huge surprise in the sense of, well, we knew he was going to come back soon, right? His 21-day window to return opened up. And when I listened to Dave Toub's presser earlier this week, that's a Chiefs special teams coordinator, my takeaway was that Butker wasn't quite ready, and it's going to take a couple weeks for him to get back to 100%. So I thought that meant Harrison Butker wouldn't be back this week, maybe not even next week. Obviously, Butker was listed as questionable to play in this game on the final injury report, but they felt he was ready enough from this knee surgery 1 week back at practice, making kicks. We'll see if Justin Reid does kickoffs. That'll be something to watch for. Do they have Justin Reid back on kickoffs again like last week and save Butker just for field goals? Another question I have is Harrison Butker going to adapt his kicking style? If you guys remember, when he sprained his ankle, he adjusted his kicking style to where every time he would kick, he would fall down on one knee. It was his plant knee. And he was doing that to kind of take pressure off of his ankle. Well, I think that is why he ended up needing a meniscus trim on his knee, because just over and over he kept falling down on that knee. Will he change his kicking style? I would assume yes. And is that going to affect his accuracy? Obviously, if Harrison Butker is already back, which Tom Pelissero said 28 minutes ago, the Chiefs are activating Harrison Butker from injured reserve, and he will kick on Sunday per source. Well, if he's back, then the Chiefs must have 100% confidence in his ability to make field goals, or just more confidence that he's going to be better than Matthew Wright was. And that's no disrespect to Matthew Wright, because he made 4 field goals last game, kicked, I think, the week prior to. The Chiefs have been through 3 kickers over the last 5 or so weeks. It's been a little stressful, but that is what is also being reported, just so you guys know. In order to make room for Harrison Butker, they did release kicker Matthew Wright, and he is going to find himself with yet another team. So we thank you, Matthew Wright, but every point's going to matter in these games. I don't care if it's the Browns that have won 3 or 4 games on the year. I don't care if it's the Steelers. I don't care if it's the Texans, Broncos, the last week of the season. You want something that's guaranteed, you get Harrison Butker out there, one of the most accurate kickers in NFL history, to make these kicks. Dave Toub said earlier this week at his presser, if the Chiefs were even a little bit further back on that game-winning kick by Matthew Wright, he would have missed it. That's a 31-yard chip shot, basically automatic for Harrison Butker. And so, again, when the Chiefs are in all these tight games, one-score games, they've had 10 one-score games this season. 8 of them have kind of gone down to the wire. I think Patrick Mahomes has something insane like 7 game-winning drives this year. Absolutely ridiculous. But when you're in games that are that close, because of a couple different reasons, the offense just lacks explosive plays, so they've got to matriculate down the field. They take long time to get into the red zone. Sometimes they're not even scoring touchdowns in the red zone. Then the defense is struggling a little bit too. But when you're in all these close games, I'm saying all that to say you need points, and you need every point that matters. Again, salute to Matthew Wright, but having Harrison Butker back is big news. I was a little surprised that they brought him back this soon. But again, you just had a minor knee cleanup. They said his return would be 3 to 4 weeks, and they were spot on. I mean, he is back, and it was only, I mean, he can't have been gone much longer than, he had surgery the week they put him on IR. So he's had surgery like 4 weeks ago, and he's back kicking. And they said he did a good job at practice. So again, something to watch out for. Is Justin Reid going to do kickoffs like he did last week for Matthew Wright, because Matthew Wright wasn't able to kick it into the end zone? I'll be intrigued to see if they do that, just to kind of preserve Harrison Butker for his first game back, because Justin Reid can obviously do it. And then you save Harrison Butker for just for field goals rather. We'll see. Maybe he's out there and he's a full go and it's all fine and dandy. And that's totally fine with me. I just think it's one of the most important things you can have back for the Chiefs, especially for the playoff run, is going to be Harrison Butker. Last year, you could argue he was the season MVP. If you look at how many field goals he made, how clutch he was, all the game-winning situations, even in the playoffs. And, I mean, outside of Mahomes, Kelsey, Chris Jones, I mean, Harrison Butker is up there on my list of like great players on the team that show up in pivotal moments. That's why he's the highest paid kicker in the NFL. Swami with the 5. Crazy to imagine the Chiefs could secure the 1 seed and bench their starters in week 17 and get some much needed rest. Yeah, so let's talk about that just for a second here before I get off, because this is just a breaking news piece. But the reason why this game against the Browns is so important is because if the Chiefs beat the Browns, the Eagles then beat the Steelers, and then the Lions beat the Bills, all the Chiefs have to do is win one more game, and they could lock up the 1 seed. If they beat the Browns, the Bills lose to the Lions, and the Steelers lose to the Eagles, all the Chiefs have to do, beat the Texans, you have the 1 seed, it's locked in. You could literally rest starters on Christmas. Netflix would be absolutely furious, but you could do it. You could rest starters by Christmas, which is absolutely insane to even think about. And I mean, the Lions, dude, they really could beat they really can beat the Bills, and the Eagles really can beat the Steelers. The Steelers haven't won in Philly since like the 60s, and they're going to Philly. So good luck with that. But that's why having Harrison Butker back is so important, in my opinion, because he's automatic, basically. And if he's back from IR, I would assume they think the same thing. Where did it come from? Are you talking about the news? It came, I guess Adam Schefter was first on it. Chiefs are releasing kicker Matthew Wright per source. Harrison Butker is now expected to kick Sunday against the Browns. So, yeah, Wright was the NFL Special Teams Player of the Week on Wednesday, then released on Saturday. But Matthew Wright knew this was coming, guys. It's not a surprise. He knew that once Harrison Butker came back, they were going to use him. You know what I mean? So, much respect to Matthew Wright. Happy for him. I like how Adam Schefter used a Getty Images photo of Butker. The watermark's still on there, dude. What are you doing, bro? That's hilarious. Oh my gosh. So yeah, he's back. Back again. That's the news. Harrison Butker will be kicking this week, and I'm super excited about it. Hopefully the knee is all good to go, and I feel like if they weren't 100% sure, he wouldn't be out there. Now, Dave Toub said in his presser it might take him a couple weeks to get back into the full swing of things. So maybe we'll go through a little bit of growing pains with Butker. But again, if he's kicking, they felt more confident about Butker working back from this knee surgery than they felt about Matthew Wright. And Matthew Wright made 4 field goals last week, which is pretty crazy. Yo, Joe with the 5. What's up, man? Thank you. Live in Houston now. Traveled home for Thanksgiving and the Black Friday game, my birthday. Can we just clobber someone this week? Let's freaking go. Yeah. That's not how the Chiefs win games lately. 10 one-score game wins. They don't like to do it. The Browns are an intriguing matchup because they're not good, like on paper. Jameis Winston is only 2-4 as a starter since taking over for Deshaun Watson, but I feel like they match up pretty decent against the Chiefs. The Chiefs are like 4-point favorites on the road. But dude, Jameis Winston, highest of highs, lowest of lows with him. He could throw a 50-yard dot for a touchdown or an easy INT for Trent McDuffie or somebody in the secondary. One thing to watch for, the Chiefs have not yet said who's going to be their left tackle. Is it going to be Wanya Morris or is it going to be Joe Thuney? Reportedly, both of them have been taking snaps and preparing to start on Sunday as the team's left tackle. I would assume the decision is already made. It's a little bit of smokescreen. But Myles Garrett is on the other side. That's the reigning defensive player of the year, second in sacks on the year, and I think second in pressures, or fourth in pressures. Like, this dude is a machine. They're going to line him up probably against Thuney or Wanya Morris at the left tackle spot. I just hope they can give Mahomes enough time to make some throws. Hollywood Brown is not going to play, but he will be back soon, either against the Texans or the Steelers. But for now, breakout Xavier Worthy game, please and thank you. That's what I'm hoping for, with D-Hop and Kelsey getting a lot of the attention. It's going to rain. It's going to be a rainy game off and on, so we'll see. If it's pouring down rain, maybe you do run the ball a lot more, and I hope they do establish the run game a little bit with Pacheco and Hunt to keep the defense a little bit honest, and they don't have to drop Patrick Mahomes back 45 times to throw, because every time he drops back, quick pass or not, that's a chance he can get hit, sacked, pressured, and he's been hit, sacked, pressured way more than even close to ideal. Matthew will still get a ring when we win the Super Bowl. Facts, KC Lion Squad. Thank you for the 2, man. Appreciate y'all. Hope you have a great Saturday. that is the news. Harrison Butker's back. Matthew Wright is gone. Before I jump off, I will check Twitter, making sure they haven't released any of their practice squad elevations. I don't see anything. But there you go. I'm excited for it. Chiefs should get this W. I predict a 21-17 Chiefs win. Let me know your score predictions, your thoughts in the comments down below. And until next time, let's go. Let's freaking go.
How about the Chiefs?